of the Ayer Board of Selectmen for Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018. Could everybody please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Town Administrator, do you have any amendments to the agenda? I know there's a couple small ones.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if the board would, under Chief Murray's report, at his request, remove number 3, the appointment of the per diem dispatcher.
Okay.
And then, as the board is aware, under my report, remove number 6, the signing of the pilot agreement with Citizens Energy. That will be moved to the February 6th meeting.
All right, great. Janice, do you have any changes? All right. Review of the warrant that you signed this week?
Do you want to approve the...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I am really out of it tonight.
Right. You got to wake up.
I know, sorry. It's a long
I
day.
make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
A second, all in favor?
Aye. All right, the following warrants were signed by myself on behalf of the Board of Selectmen. 2018-01-10, accounts payable 18-12, in the amount of $1,390,710.27. 2018-01-16, payroll warrant 18-14, in the amount of $354,023.49.
Thank you.
That was painful.
Well, first off, we always like to start on a positive note. So, positive and a little sad, I think, for the community as a whole. The recognition of Mr. Nicholas Lagus and the Lagus family for his contributing to the town of Ayer for well over 100 years now, him and his family. And we are sad to see you go. We appreciate all you've done for the community. And I guess I would like to just read this real quick. And I know you don't like this pomp and circumstance, but we felt we owed this to you for all you've done. So the certificate of recognition. The certificate is awarded to Mr. Nicholas Lagus and the Lagus family. Invaluable recognition of a century of local business leadership and devotion to the community. Signed by Christopher R. Hillman, Janice Livingston, and Gary R. Luca, Ayer Board of Selectmen. We'd like to present this for your service, Nick, to the town.
From my entire family, I'd like to thank the town. It's been a pleasure working on Main Street for over 50 years myself, and like you said, over 100 years of my store. My father, my grandfather started it, so couldn't have been any happier working on Main Street. It was a pleasure.
Honestly, there'll never be a business like yours again. I don't believe anywhere. You were unique, but you also did an amazing job surviving the base closing and kind of reinventing yourself and really making it a successful place. I'm going to miss it myself because I'm a frequent shopper, but. And I'd also like to recognize, I don't know if Bob's here, but your employee, Bob, I don't know, how many years is he?
62.
62 years as an employee at the store, which is absolutely amazing. So we wish you luck. We're sad to see you go, and we hope you enjoy some skiing and some time with the family.
I had some of my family here, my wife Dawn, Nick, my grandson Nick, and Matt, my daughter Christy.
Hey, guys.
All my other fans are here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You got a lot of fans. A lot of people sad to happy that you're going to enjoy some retirement, but sad to see you go on Main Street.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, we're going to miss you too. Would you like to do a picture with
Would
this?
you mind if we just did a picture with the board and if your family...
Yeah, family would like to come up. Nick, are you officially done today, or was it
Saturday?
Saturday? This coming Saturday. Okay.
I was gonna pull this past Saturday.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. We can. Want to do the head of the table here? Does that work, Cindy? Janice, you want to squeeze in here? Let's get the grandkids in the middle there. Much more photogenic.
Yes.
Certainly me.
All right, smile. Very nice.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll be sending down that. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thanks for everybody for coming.
That is a
Thank
wonderful
you.
legacy.
Yeah, it really is. It's remarkable. I know Robert and I talked about it like off camera a few weeks ago. It's just amazing that a small business like that could survive for 100 and something years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
have an employee for 62
I
years
know.
is.
To even be able to work someplace, the same place, for that many years.
I believe Bob
unheard of.
worked there before Nick.
Yep.
Nick was a little younger, so Nick was in school. And then Nick's dad, of course, was there up until a few years ago, until his passing. Good and bad. It's a little sad to see it go. But
Yep.
do we have anybody under public input this evening? All right. Robert, can we move on to the appointment of the assistant town accountant?
Members of the board, if I could ask the finance manager, Ms. Cabri, and Ms. Carrie Cooper to join us up at the table. I think we need a second chair, Lisa.
Good evening.
Evening. I apologize. I've lost my voice.
We won't quiz you too much. I promise.
So as the board is aware, after over 30 years of service to the town of Ayer, Ms. Martha Riley retired at the end of the calendar year, and we embarked on a search to replace the assistant town accountant. We advertised the position in all of the usual venues, the newspaper, the MMA, etc. We received dozens of applications, which were reviewed. 40, yeah, I think over 40, which were reviewed by myself, Ms. Cabri, Ms. Antonellis to vet them down to interviewing. We ended up interviewing 5 qualified candidates, and in the end, it's with great pleasure that we are going to recommend Ms. Carrie Cooper for appointment as the assistant town accountant. Specifically, which stood out, besides having an excellent resume and a really great personality and outgoing, and will fill the position well. She has extensive municipal experience in accounting, which is hard to find, and Lisa can speak to that. Most recently with the Lunenburg Public Schools, but formerly with the town of Shirley. Impeccable references. And so with that, and through you, Mr. Chair, let them speak, but the recommendation is for appointment effective February 5th, 2018.
February 5th, 2015. Well, welcome again. I won't make you talk too much when you're not feeling well, but we're happy to have you aboard. We've been very fortunate to create a very good working atmosphere in this building in the last few years, so I'm sure you'll see that. There's a lot of good people, and Lisa's fantastic. As I say, she always treats the town's money like it's her own money, which is, as you'll see.
Which is sometimes hard.
Yeah, that's a compliment, Lisa, I promise.
And you're like, yeah, good.
So you're currently in Lunenburg?
I am.
Okay.
I've been there for 7 years.
And then I saw you were in Shirley and previously before the
I
regionalization.
was there for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
It's nice.
I'm ecstatic about having such a qualified candidate. Carrie also has an associate's in accounting. And
Oh, fantastic.
I think she'll be an asset not only for my office, but for the town.
No, absolutely. Well, anything else?
Welcome aboard. I think you will enjoy working here. Okay. Lisa only barks, she doesn't bite. But she'll keep you on your toes, and I think you'll learn a lot.
Right. Thank you.
So we're very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Carrie A. Cooper to the full-time position of the Assistant Town Accountant, effective February 5th, 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard. Congratulations. Say hello? No, later. Didn't feel well. All right, guys. What's that? Yeah, I know. I know.
This whole place.
Oh, really? Would like to welcome my favorite police chief. If you honor us. How are you, Chief?
Who's your second favorite?
We're good, Chief. How are you?
Okay.
Chief, hats off too. I know the march on Sunday got was a lot bigger. Saturday was a lot bigger than I think you probably anticipated. And I know you guys responded well and handled everything great. I mean, it's a testament to
I appreciate
the
that.
department.
Yeah, we've been crew and, we're
No,
used
absolutely.
to moving on the fly, so.
You're going to have to start reintroducing these guys pretty soon because you got so many new guys in town.
A lot of new faces,
Yeah.
right? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
beautiful. You know David,
Yep.
and I know that guy with that thing on his lip.
Yeah, the mustache is throwing me off.
He's just looking different, that's all.
But good job. Good job at that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So what do we have this evening?
So, Mr. Chairman, the first item in your packet is the contract for execution for the radio infrastructure improvement project between Timberline Communications and the town of Ayer, and the total amount of $567,181. As the board is aware, the project and the contract were procured in accordance with Mass General Law. At the last Selectmen's meeting, you, the Board of Selectmen, authorized the notice of award, which was appreciated. So the contract is before you for approval and signature by the board, and signature by the chair. And I would like to just, if I may, Mr. Chair, again thank Chief Murray and his team, as well as Chief Pedrazi, as well as Ms. Antonellis and Superintendent Wetzel for all of their work in putting this project together, and the procurement and the contract. It's truly appreciated, and we look forward to moving forward.
And it's a long time coming, so I can't wait till this is up and ready to go. Janice?
Just a quick reminder, how long is this project expected to go before it's
I
done?
think the contract is 160 days,
Okay.
so we're expecting mid-June.
Okay, great. I know that last time we talked about
Yep.
potential weather
Weather,
problems
yeah.
could affect a few things, but
That could, but we're trying to work around a few things like pouring the concrete. We worked out a way that we can push it off until warmer weather, just so we make sure we get a good base on things. But
Right.
there's other things can be done before that. So we had a meeting last week that kind of ironed out some of those details.
great.
And judging by the gentlemen last week, they seem like they're pretty confident, like they know.
Yeah, they seemed like a
Yeah.
good group. We did do some background investigations on them through our consultant, and highly recommended, so a lot of people are happy with their work.
Fantastic.
Good. Okay.
All right. What is
All
it,
right.
Sue-Ann?
Well, if there's nothing else, Mr. Chairman, I would like to make the motion that the contract execution of the radio infrastructure improvement project in the amount of $567,181 be approved and signed by the chair.
I
Yeah.
second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed. Ready to go.
Woo.
Chief, do you need these right now, or do you want me to?
I'll take them because I gotta know the
Yeah.
odds.
Okay.
All right, I'll sign. Okay.
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 I'll hold on to them, we'll do that, okay?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
All right, good. Happy that's
Finally
finally
done.
rolling.
Oh,
Yes.
Now, if you don't mind me, just go back. Do you guys actually lose signal sometimes? Like if you're like on the radio, does it drop?
It doesn't drop, it is very static.
It gets staticky, so
Depending on where you are in town, yeah.
yeah.
Which is just as bad as being dropped.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if you can hear static or you can't hear anything, it doesn't matter, especially if something major is going on. So, kind of scary. All right.
So board, this is Danielle Priest.
Hi, Danielle.
hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm presenting Danielle this evening to request that she be appointed as a full-time position dispatcher to replace dispatcher that resigned in December. Danielle grew up in Townsend, graduated from high school over there, currently lives in Ashby. She's working part-time as a secretary and also part-time over at the Shovel Club here in Ayer, secretary of the hospital. She is inexperienced, but I don't think we're going to hold that against her. So was her mother when we hired her. And leading into that, her mother, Sherry Priest, used to be a dispatcher for us, was also a reserve officer for us for many years. Danielle's father, Sergeant Brett Pellington, back in support. Might mention that her fiance Ethan is also back there, and so is her sister Brooke. So she's no stranger to the job. She comes highly recommended. Obviously, we did all the vetting through our usual channels, and all of our people think she's a fantastic person. She will have to do some training, but we can do all that training in-house. I have no issues. I think that she's not going to have any problems getting through any of that.
Sometimes that's the best, isn't it, Chief? I mean, training someone in the way,
Right.
you want them to do the job
Right,
instead of.
we know what we're giving them. So, I mean, there are some things we have to send her away for a few days, but that's just a necessity, getting 911 certified. I am recommending an immediate appointment at step 1 grade, which is the training grade. And I would also like to put a condition on the appointment that she complete her training by April 10th, which gives her 11 weeks. Should be more than enough. I'm hoping to be able to sooner, but that'll be more than enough for me.
All right, fantastic.
So tell us a little more about yourself.
I grew up in the town of Townsend. I currently live in Ashby. I went to North Middlesex High School. I'm also an auxiliary member of the Ashby Fire Department.
Great.
So public service is very well known to me, especially since my mom, this is where she started. This is her home base. My stepfather is a sergeant, and my father is a state trooper in Massachusetts. So the police force comes very natural to me.
Certainly seems that way. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
great.
know. Yes.
No, I mean it's a great career. These are great people, the APD and the chief. So I think you'll find.
You are working with the #1 police department in the state of Massachusetts.
Oh, I know.
And we won't let you forget it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sergeant, we won't ask you your opinion on that.
Obviously,
But I agree.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Well, with that, I make a motion that Danielle R. Priest be appointed to the position of full-time dispatcher effective immediately at a step 1 dispatcher grade on the condition that she successfully pass all phases of training by April 10th of 2018.
I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice
Welcome
to meet
aboard. Guys, always thanks for coming to support. I always appreciate that.
thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
You know, some of my guys are really good.
What do we got now? Moving right
It goes so
along.
fast when it's just the two.
That is true. We're getting used to the two, too.
I know. He's going to come back someday and we'll be like, who are you?
I know.
You're messing everything up.
I know.
You are, but Chris is not.
Hang on.
It's Gary's not here, so I don't mind swinging over here. I'm getting old too. That's a long way to look.
I'll just text her.
It has been discussed.
Yeah.
By the
But-
time this works, you'll be really old.
Yeah. Real quick, just to announce, we have Mrs. Cavasso and Nicole Patano again from our student reporters from the Ayer Shirley Regional High School, who have been doing a fantastic job covering our meetings and various things throughout town. So.
Very detailed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The articles have been much better than anything that rag of a paper we used to have used to write. So Good work.
Speaking of that,
Yeah, yeah.
Robert had me reach out to Jennifer Paluzzi, and they're interested in featuring the article as a student feature in their weekly paper. So
That would be really nice.
We have a call set up sometime this week, and just to work out the logistics, we checked with the superintendent.
Sure you don't want me to talk to them? They're
No,
a big
I'm
fan.
not.
Yeah. So, and this will be Nicole will be our first. This is her third time covering
Yep.
us, but
Yeah.
we are going to get that local feature as the
All
board
right.
asked, and we're going to be meeting too to talk about the newsletter and some other things. So
All right.
we appreciate it, the great
awesome.
writing. So
Maybe
thank
you can work in a stipend for these guys as well from the paper. Just throwing that out there.
I'm paid, she's not.
Yeah, just trying to help you out, Nicole.
Thanks.
Welcome, Mark.
Thank you.
Hi, Mark.
How are the roads this morning?
Honestly, the roads were good. I was mentioning something last night to my wife because there was some people in Mulberry Circle who, if you were out last night, the roads were fine and then they weren't fine.
Yeah,
and
it was really
at
quick.
about 6:30, 7 o'clock, it just went from. And then some people at Mulberry Circle were complaining that it took a half an hour for a salt truck to get there, and I kind of chimed in that these guys don't sleep in the salt truck. I mean, they do go home,
Right.
and I had
Get a cup of
a
coffee.
few compliments from people up there today that the salt truck just, hammered that area because of the hills and.
Doug, the highway foreman, said he had to back up
I-
Washington Street to the hospital.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
wow.
He said it was so icy he couldn't get up. He had to turn around at the school and he backed up.
A friend of mine up in Mulberry Circle said he never saw. I couldn't understand why the salt truck was backing. Like he must have come up from the pond and then back down. It was crazy.
I really wish I could get you to show up at Hanscom and teach them how to plow and even salt.
I wish
Because
I could-
everything was fine
Yeah.
until I got out of my car to walk across the parking lot to my building, and let's just say it almost was not a good thing.
And it was a surprise. I mean, it was supposed to be 50
Yeah.
degrees
Yeah,
today.
it was supposed to be
Yeah.
warm.
And I think the guys.
I wish I could have them come to and do my street because they're notoriously bad in my town.
No, the roads. I felt the roads were fantastic.
Well,
in town.
In
maybe-
Hanscom, they don't
maybe-
seem to know, when it's
Yeah, way,
to actually put the plow on the ground, so that you can.
And I think you're going to be back at it tonight too. Unfortunately.
So anyway, I've got a pretty full agenda, but I'll try to run through it relatively quickly. The first item is the contract for the final design for the East Main Street project. That's as you may remember, we're reconstructing East Main Street from about Elm Street to East Street down at where it splits at Harvard Road. And so we applied for TIP funding from Mass DOT. We submitted what they call the 25% design, which is really more than 25% design. It's a pretty complete design. And then they have a certain amount of time to review it, which ended up being a year. So we had the public hearing. It's been approved to go to final design. So this is the contract for the final design. And what they basically will do is put together plans and specifications, and then turn it over to Mass DOT to bid it. One other step we have to do is get it on the funding list. It's on what they call the program list, but it's programmed for 2022.
I know you've been working on that.
Mark has been
Right, and it sounds worse than it is. It's not like we're going to have to jump over a bunch of projects. We're farther along than the projects that are programmed before us. So it's just a matter of some procedural things, and we can get it moved up. And so I have a contract for World Tech Engineering for the amount of where was that? $135,000 for the final design for signature by the chairman.
So move.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Glad to get that rolling. And Mark, I'm sorry, you said to be from where to where?
So it's right from where the fork is, at, I call
Yep.
it East Street.
Yep.
And then we're gonna come up past where it turns over the bridge and go up to about Elm Street.
Oh, okay.
we need to rework that intersection
Mhm.
where East Main Street comes out.
Yeah, I saw some
Just
kind
this
of
side of
cool
the bridge, we gotta
conceptual.
bump that out because we need to make it more of a 90-degree angle. It's gonna be new sidewalks, new curbing, all new storm drains, some streetscapes, some street trees, things like that.
Because there's granite curbing there, does that mean we can keep it instead of doing asphalt curbing that I see everywhere?
It's gonna be granite curbing.
All right, awesome.
It'll be new granite curbing.
Awesome.
So,
I think that's a huge thing for Ayer, being the gateway
yeah.
and you guys being proactive and getting all the stuff under the roads done.
Thank you.
So-
Next item is, as you may have seen around town, we've had the TV trucks. Well, they don't have big
Yeah,
fish
yeah.
on the top, but we've been TVing our sewers. It's
Mhm.
part of the agreement we have with the town of Groton where they're funding our inflow infiltration study to a certain point. So we've done a couple of the areas in town. We've completed the TV inspection, and so they're doing a report on that. But I wanted to just give you an update so you can kind of see what we're dealing with in our infrastructure and why it's important and what we discovered, which I was a little surprised. So we have this system divided into two sub areas. So this is sub area 2, which is basically the hill area of Washington Street, and the recommendations of what we're proposing to do. Where red is basically what we call relining, and I have a slide that will show that. We have a couple areas where we may not reline the whole thing. We may just do some sections, or we can just dig up a spot here and a spot there and change it. But now we've got all the data that shows it. And you can kind of see some of the pictures that we get out of it, but I have some better shots of it. So this, and then this was sub area 3. So these are the two sub areas we did. Believe it or not, one of the worst sub areas includes Devon's Crest. And I was mistaken. I thought they replaced a lot of the sewers there in the 80s, and they didn't. They replaced the house connections. So that gives me a pretty good idea why that's a problem. But one of the issues here, I don't know if this.
What are the diameters of those pipes? They look bigger than I
Yeah,
thought they were.
It doesn't look on the
Lazy
screen.
doesn't show very well.
This,
Um,
I used
oh.
this.
So this interceptor that runs along Grove Pond and goes through Peroni Park takes a lot of the sewage. It takes all this area, it takes all Devon's Crest, used to take Kane's sewer. It gets our backwash from our water treatment plant. And we found you can see some issues in that interceptor. Here's Bly Street, you can see the water squirting in. You can see some roots here and some offset joints. So here's a couple close-ups. So you can see here on Washington Street, it's all cracked and starting to collapse on the top. This one, the top's actually missing. It's fallen in. So that's just dirt and roots up there. That's important because if it does fail, then we have a big problem, and we have a lot of people without.
What's the diameter of these, roughly?
They're either 8 or 12.
Oh, okay. They look bigger
Yeah.
from the camera.
Here's the one on Bly Street where you can see the water squirting in, and that's what we call infiltration. And it means when it rains, we end up treating about twice as much wastewater as we do on a regular day. And then here's a big root ball. We found a lot of root balls when we were. What happens is the roots get through the joints and come in, and so you have to go in and basically drill those out. So here's a couple rehab examples. So this is what chemical root treatment. They basically put some chemicals in, or we can do it with a cutter, but I think the chemicals get into the joints better, and we need to have a better program of doing that. And then we have cured in place liner. We did this on East Main Street when we were doing the water main. They basically put it's a felt liner with fiberglass resin in it, and then they heat the water up, and it cures the fiberglass.
Pretty cool.
And it seals it against that, and it really seals it up structurally, so it's basically a new pipe after they do that. Wrong.
This all has to be done when it's active, right? I mean, you don't have diverters or anything.
Well,
like that, right?
what we end up doing is, you basically you can do it a couple ways. What we did on East Main Street was, it takes about 4 hours to do it, so we just backed up the sewer. We didn't have really any problems, there wasn't that much flow.
Yeah.
If there is a lot of flow, then you have to pump from one manhole to the other
Oh, I see.
and bypass it. So obviously, you know, the issues are that we have costs associated with treating the infiltration, the groundwater that's getting into the system. And I have a cost number on that. I forget what exactly it is, but it's about, I think it's about $2 a gallon is what it ends up costing us to treat the waste. And so all the extra flow we're paying, excuse me, you're paying more
Yeah.
money for. I know that's a sore subject with Selectman Livingston. It's the cost of sewer. So anything we can do to reduce the amount of cost for operating. And then we also can have a collapse. You've probably seen that there was a big one out in Nantucket a couple weeks ago that was on the news.
They just diverted it right into the sea, if I recall,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Wow.
And then it could affect some of our water treatment plant at the hospital, the high school. Most of the schools are in pretty good shape, but we also have industries that rely on us too. So those are the consequences of failure. And the main thing that I wanted to give you an update on, and we have it in the capital budget, is we're going to have to start doing some of these repairs on a regular basis, just like we do with our water mains. We have a certain amount of budgeted annually. We'll obviously be looking for grants to do enough of some of this work, but I do have built into my 5-year capital monies to start correcting some of these issues. And we are in the next phase of this. Once we finish this phase, is we will do out in the Rosewood area, we need to TV that, and then also the Devon's Crest area. Those are the two next worst areas, and I think we're in pretty good shape everywhere else in the system.
So ultimately, you spend the money that's probably save money, I would think, right? If you're
Yes. Yeah. I was just at a seminar today, and they were talking about water main breaks, and this, I forget where it was. He said a water main break costs on average $7,000 to fix.
Well,
And so, just start thinking about how many, and I think in that town they had 50 a year.
oh.
The other thing I wanted to update you on, because I just got some information from Mass DOT, is some of the things that they're planning at Carlton Circle. And I know that Alan Manoyan, the Economic Development Director, met with MassDOT also to talk about doing some improvements on some of the islands with planters and things like that. But they have a couple different things I just wanted to show you. And there was an article in the Globe about how Mass DOT was starting to strike out some of the big rotaries to make them function more like a roundabout. A roundabout is a smaller rotary that it functions a lot better because it doesn't carry as much traffic at a time, so the right of way is easier to enter. So the idea that they have here is to try to make it a little tighter, slow down the traffic, keep it more directed, and so this is what they're proposing, is to basically do some striping out there and make it hopefully function a little better. So you can see up here is McDonald's, and here's Ford dealer. This is East Main Street, Harvard Road, and Wendy's is over here. So, one of the things I've been trying to get MassDOT to do is put a sidewalk in through here, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I may apply for Complete Streets money and put that in, because it's a dirt path. A lot of people use it, but it's
On the McDonald's side of the street?
No, over on the other side.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Are you
Coming down Harvard
Yep,
Road.
yeah, that's a good idea. They just paved this a few years ago too.
Yeah.
Wasn't their best job because I think they did it in like December
They
or
did
something
it
like
pretty
that.
late in the
Yeah.
year. It's okay, it needs some crack sealing.
Yeah.
But it's, I think you probably could have done a better season. They did something like this similar in the Rotary in my town, but they striped it for double lanes and it doesn't work. It's really confusing.
Double lanes in the Rotary, the Concord Rotary. I mean, that whole, you can be in the right lane.
The Concord
but,
Rotary is terrible because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
the double lane.
except once they start painting lines, you're always in the wrong lane.
Yeah.
That's what I find.
Yeah.
I think the people that commute there every day know where to be, but I don't. I get in and I'm like,
We should, the chief was still here. I don't find this Rotary incredibly dangerous. Like, I've been in a lot of Rotaries.
No,
This
yes,
one
this
I
one's not
find
bad.
pretty, now that all the bushes,
Yeah.
you can see visually,
Yeah.
I
Right.
think it's
yeah,
pretty good.
It is, because a lot of the Rotaries have, like you said, have bushes or
Yeah.
have, like the one in my town, we have Route 128 going over it, so
Mhm.
you can't see from one side to the other, so
Yeah.
it doesn't work that
I mean, we
well.
did have the
And
jungle in there.
Superintendent Wetzel clarified with Mass DOT, they're not gonna put 2 lanes on
Yeah,
this
no,
road,
that's-
because there was originally a story.
Yeah.
That's
No, Alan,
exactly
Yeah.
what they're doing, is they're striping it for one lane.
One lane.
And making
Okay.
it a little narrower. The next item is they've been looking for places to start doing what we call best management practices for stormwater management. So right now, all the stormwater from the Rotary just dumps into the creek coming out of the Balch Pond. And so what they're proposing to do is create a wetland infiltration basin with an overflow that then goes into the creek. And so I met with them last summer and we talked about it, and I said, well, can you do some landscaping as part of this? And so they agreed and they added some landscaping to it. So
This is the backside mark where it says.
so
Frederick-
McDonald's is up here.
Oh, okay.
This is one way on East Main Street, and then Harvard Road's coming in, and the Ford dealer's over here. See?
Oh, so the pond would be kind of in that dead zone in the back where there's
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
yeah, good.
And they'll leave, there's some fairly nice trees out
Mhm.
there, they'll leave those, but they'll also do some plantings.
More
And,
lights, Carly?
Yeah, and I told Mark to keep in mind that though the state disagrees with everyone else's assessment about the electrical problems, to keep that in mind when they upgrade, because we need more power
We do.
out there.
We do.
More
And I would like to get a nice welcome to air sign.
I am all for that.
You've been-
I've been, yeah, I would.
I'm sorry, I missed what he said.
A welcome to air
Welcome
sign,
to
you
it.
know,
Oh.
like something granite or something. I know Jimmy Pinard drew up
Are
something.
we gonna
a few
say
years
all
ago
are
that was-
welcome or just welcome?
Oh.
We'll leave out the all, just welcome, I think is good. But that would be, I think would look fantastic, and we've been talking about that for a while.
And then just some of the other things, as I mentioned, Alan's working with them on trying to do some work on the islands to make them more planter friendly and landscape friendly.
And they seem positive from what I mean, from what I saw. They were
Well,
very much.
the guy that we talked to was positive about everything, but
I saw, yeah.
sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
He
Yeah.
kind of yeses you.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm trying to get him to do is clean up some of these guardrails and either, replace them.
With the Demora bumper stickers and all those ones that are.
They're just in there kind of
Yeah.
rusty and banged up and stuff. So he said he'd have his traffic people take a look at that. So that's it on the Rotary.
Well, that's great. And now, this is something that is spring, summer, I mean, possibly, or are we looking at?
Yes, they're planning on bidding it for summer construction.
Great. With your input, obviously, I mean, it's not just them coming in and.
Right.
All right, good.
The next thing, this is I know you signed one at the last meeting for, was it open space plan?
Yeah, for the land use.
So, Montechusett Regional Planning Commission has these district local technical assistance, I don't know if I can call them a grant, but they will provide assistance for certain projects. And so with some of the issues we're having over at Grove Pond, I thought it would be a good idea if we went back and looked at our water resources and where we could develop a new well and start doing some more investigations and buying land or protecting land if we do have a favorable location. So I'm going to apply to have them assist us with that, and basically looking at our historical testing information, looking at existing geological information, and then prioritizing some different sites. And I've done this a number of times. So they would basically be, I'd provide the technical expertise, and they'd provide the hard work and the GIS stuff. What I showed, I just threw this up for fun, but the dark green is high favorable groundwater, light green is less favorable. So here's our spec pond well is over here, and our Grove Pond well is over here. Here's Grove Pond, Shop Pond. You can see Devon's McPherson well is over in this area here. But we have done some testing throughout the town, and we wouldn't rule out looking at rock wells if we don't find any sand and gravel wells that are popular. But so I have, there's a letter of interest that needs to be signed by the board.
We don't have to vote on
To
this, right?
go
Just to
with the
sign it.
application.
Are you tapped out at spec, Mark, at what you can pull?
Well, so we have a permit to withdraw water, and we're under in both locations, under our permit. So we could draw more water out. As you know, we're putting in a replacement well at well 2, which is almost ready to be approved. I need to get her like one more thing, and then they just need to swap over the wells. And actually, the replacement well had the results were really good. It was about double the capacity of what we were pumping out of the old well. So I, if nothing went wrong, we have plenty of water resources. Devon's has plenty of water resources, and we're making that interconnection with them at Barnum. But I always say you really want to know where your next supply is coming from, and start planning it and protecting it, so that if you do have a situation.
Well, I mean, we, well, you weren't here yet, Robert, you were, but 2010, I mean, the spec pond wells were shut down for weeks, with the doors sandbagged, and, I mean, everything was, I think it was a don't flush order, I think, in town for several weeks, so, because of that, so, obviously.
And it's easy for us to say, well, don't water your lawn and conserve water, but we do have some industries that that rely on our water supply, and they create jobs, and they're part of the economy. So you want to do as much as you can to accommodate them also. The other, Robert had told me there was a couple other things that we were interested in.
For the love of God, Mark, please.
And after about 4 tries of sitting out there in my car and trying to figure out why it wasn't.
It works sometimes.
It should work all the time now.
Oh, I see. I came this way, so I tried to swerve on that side of traffic to see if it would come on. But
and I had a video, but the video was too big.
It would flash the speed limit, and then I come back, and then it would just do the hashtag, like on Saturday it would just do the lines.
So
this was I haven't been by since Saturday.
No, I fixed it yesterday morning. What I found out was I didn't have the most recent software, and so it wasn't sending what I needed them to do. So I finally talked to someone who knew what they were doing, and he says, "Oh yeah, what version are you using?" So this should work. I also noticed, or I'm not sure if the one over in front of the library is not working all the time.
During the cold, I
During-
didn't know.
If
That's what I
it's
think.
been
When it was
really-
really cold, it
If
wasn't
it's really
working.
cold and really gray for
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
then yeah.
I noticed the one on the opposite side of the street when we had that 5 below 0, because I said the route, I'm like, the other one's not working. And then as soon as it warmed up,
Yeah.
it seems to be working.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
We do need to
find that
replace
happens with solar
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah,
That happens. That they'll
Yeah.
They
just
just
like
have
freeze.
batteries also. And,
Yeah, but for the most part, the
Yeah.
library one seems to
yeah,
work
I
pretty
just
well.
haven't noticed it the last couple mornings. So
Yeah,
I
I'll
wasn't sure
start
if there was
paying
something
attention
going on.
more.
And they honestly they do work. I mean, when it wasn't
yeah.
working, people were just flying through. when those things are working, people, I'm telling you, everybody hits the brakes.
Well,
Yeah, because a lot of times people don't even realize how fast they're going.
Yeah.
It's funny
you know?
because while I was sitting there, once I programmed it, and I would see 45, and then all of a sudden
It's amazing.
Third.
I mean, it really, and I know the residents have mentioned it too, but they certainly do work.
let's see. So the other thing was we requested an update on the Columbia Street truck exclusion or heavy vehicle exclusion. So we've ordered signs. They should be in this Friday, and then they'll get installed. So we're putting one at Sandy Pond and Central Ave going westbound, another one at Groton Harvard Road and Central Ave, one at the intersection of Columbia and Central Ave. We're going to put one on Main Street going eastbound, and then one on Columbia. And these two they'll have the truck with the slash through it. And then this wording is what's required by the Mass DOT. So they told us that we have to get this wording on the signs.
And Columbia, are we doing something with Columbia? Isn't Columbia on the
We're
repair?
We're going to be, yeah, so we're submitting a tip application on that, Columbia and Maine.
Yep.
And so we'll look at some streetscape improvements and some traffic calming. We'll probably have some bump outs for the crosswalks, and that helps with the parking and the traffic calming.
I mean, you guys are here all day. It's mind-boggling. I mean, you must see the tractor trailers that turn here in order to just cut off the time going to the rotary.
So this should help. I mean, it's good that this exclusion's going up.
Yeah.
But the truck traffic in general is an issue, and as the
Yeah.
board is aware, Chief Murray also, we've contacted the construction that's going on at Four Corners, a lot of Rockwell's trucks and so forth. We do keep calling and trying to get, because we still do truck traffic down Sandy Pond Road, but it's not eligible for the restriction.
So PD, once these signs, Marks gets these signs up, which they can enforce, right?
Yes,
And
and
I'm assuming
that's the
chief's
chief.
gonna-
Once the signs are up, Chief Murray, they will enforce, and there will be tickets in accordance with the law for violating the exclusion.
Good.
And when we go to do whatever we're going to do here in Columbia Street, we need at least some markings in front of the post office to make sure, because people park there.
Yeah.
And it's awful because, you're trying to be cautious coming around this corner. And of course, as many times you tell a human being, look both ways before you step off, they'll just boom. But then you have the traffic and you have the parking here and somebody is sitting right there. Sometimes they'll leave their door open while you're looking at them like, seriously, could you at least close the door? So, but
Yeah.
we
Give Robert
really
a
need to
ticket
do
bus
some
to do it.
lines there.
Oh, you could hand out tickets all day long. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bump outs are a good idea, or the
Yeah.
islands, or what we talked about.
And
Well, is it going to be an island or like a rumble strip? Because I thought, Chief, are you talking about here in Columbia?
Yeah, well, Mark talked about some bump outs like towards the end, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
right?
well,
So
you said an
narrow the
island,
end.
because I know at one point we were talking about that, and Chief Pedraza said that might get in the way, and we were like a rumble strip or something to slow people down.
LED streetlight conversion, everything's been procured, all the contracts are signed, everything's ordered. We're just waiting for the lights to be delivered, and then they'll start installing them. The installation contractor says it's probably a 2 to 3 week project once everything's in. I have all of the controllers; those were delivered a few weeks ago. I have to put what we call the gateway in, which is what talks to all the controllers. We have to install that. So I'm going to work with Chuck Schultz on.
So can you sit in your office and pick, like, do you have to go
No.
out to the site? So you can sit at
No.
your desk and say, light number
I'll
193.
see every light in a map, and I can click on it, and I can say, I want to dim this 50%, or I want to leave this one on all day long.
We'll be sitting there and we're like, got a little dark. Mark in a good mood today.
Well, there's a whole bunch of things you can do with, once you put the controllers in, you can really do anything.
No, it's
So
a
you
good idea.
can set up dimming schedules, so if we want to, say, midnight, dim all the lights to 50%,
No, that's awesome.
We can do that, have them come back up at like
Thanks, now
5
I
in the
have Donna
morning.
Summer.
The brightness of them is gonna shock people. I mean, I know when they did it over here at the post office, it's anywhere, but it was remarkable, just switching over to LED.
And one of the things you can see here, so we have a Green Communities grant, we got a DOER grant, and we got a rebate from National Grid. So we have about $223,000 of money that is paying for this. The town's not using any of their own money. And through all the procurement, it's about $151,000. So we're going to have a little bit of money to buy Robert a Prius or something like that.
Buy him something. He definitely needs something.
Wow.
And obviously there's a few
We're a
spots
tough
in
crowd
town.
tonight,
I don't
I
know,
file agreements with.
heading out of town on is it 110 2A? There's nothing. I don't know if that's a state road, but you leave the rotary.
Yeah.
There is nothing until you get to. I mean, you get the gun shop has lights on the building, which lights it up a little bit, but there's.
Well, I think that there wasn't, it was nothing there except the gun shop.
Yeah, and then now you get Old Farm
so-
and all the.
So I don't know what the process is if we want to add some streetlights. It's probably just a matter of us having our contractor, we probably have to get permission from Grid to put it on
Sure.
the post, but it's all in our agreement when we bought the lights
Yep.
from Grid.
And you didn't mention the savings. I mean, the LED lights.
Yeah,
What
well,
we pay
yeah,
for electricity
yeah.
is
Yeah,
remarkable.
it'll be phenomenal.
So, Mr. Chair, the Prius aside, first, Mark and the town engineer Dan have done an excellent job on this whole project,
I
but
agree.
also through your support, the board, with the funding, as you can see. So we will be shortly reconvening the Energy Committee to talk about various projects, but also there is an opportunity with, as you can see, to do something else, which is
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
I think one of the
Yeah.
things that we had talked to Green Communities about was redoing some more of the lights in here.
Yep,
And
Yeah,
at that
Chuck's.
point, we didn't have.
yeah.
Chuck spoke with Ann on that already. Yeah.
Yeah, chocolate chop that we'll get that going.
Last but not least, we were asked to look into putting in a speed hump on Main Street for traffic.
I asked because I hit the one in Chelmsford, and it took me 3 hours to put everything back on the shelves in my van. The first time they put it coming out of Vinyl Square, I guess it is Chelmsford Center.
Yeah.
They put several of them, kind of where the library is, where you go around that loop, and
Okay.
and they work once you know they're there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The first time they went in, it was.
Yeah.
They're long. They're not. They're
There's-
probably the
they're-
length of the
they're
table.
They're like, yeah, that's what the speed, there's a speed hump, there's a
Yeah.
speed bump, which is like 3 to 4
Yeah,
feet.
you've seen a parking lot.
There's a
or, yeah.
speed hump, which is this picture there, which is probably about 10 to 12 feet.
Yeah, these were paved curb to
Yeah,
curb.
so you can see here, 12, it says 12 to 14 feet in length. They don't recommend, none of the traffic associations recommend putting them on any primary routes,
Uh-huh.
mostly on residential streets.
Wayland has a ton of them.
Who does?
The town of Wayland has a ton of them.
Oh,
Too many.
yeah.
But
And there are some benefits and some problems. They do reduce speed. You can see here indicates traffic volumes are reduced 18%, speeds 13%, but there is potential for some vehicle damage and traffic noise. Both of the chiefs, the fire chief and the police chief, weren't in favor of this because of emergency response issues. Especially Chief Pedrazi said, well, if we go with that bump and we have someone in the ambulance, they're going to get shook around. And they typically, something like this would be, I think, $3,000 to $4,000. So I would say, and I don't really know if there's a huge issue with that coming into town. I would say at this point I would not recommend doing it. If we wanted to, I can look into buying one and trying it out.
yeah, because I think I said to Robert, I said you can buy them. In Chelmsford's where they just repaved, they built up the road. It's
Yeah.
all, it's all asphalt.
There's,
But
what I would do is if we did this, I would take them up in the winter.
absolutely, and I agree.
The plows would destroy.
I agree, but you
More
you
would
bolt them
destroy
down.
plows.
my thought was coming over the hill here, but coming over the bridge, coming down into town, but, I mean, if the chiefs don't.
I mean, the superintendent, both the chiefs, myself, you can use my office anytime as you have for viewing purposes. We are well aware of the truck and traffic issues with the bridge, and there's that natural tendency, as you're coming down, it's finding
No,
what is the
absolutely.
best
I mean,
solution.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't think they're, I mean, if $4,000 is $4,000, and if the chief thinks it could be a problem, I guess I would have to figure out where to put them if we did buy one. I mean, it's nice that you could pull it up and move it, and almost like the Chief Murray does with his speeding sign. It ends up in different spots in town. All right.
And that is all I have, unless you have any other questions.
No, just salt supplies holding up. Everything's good this year.
Yeah, we're using a lot of salt.
Yeah.
But, not a lot of plowing events, but a lot of salting events.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think they're going to be out again. I think the school delay was late today too. I mean, I think maybe Dr. Malone was. I mean, it was like
And
6.
actually,
Well, did you see the
I had
video?
Jack was up and ready, and
There
I
was a
saw the
video
email.
of, I think a school bus in
In Sutton,
Leominster. or
Sutton
something?
it was
Sutton.
where it slid. That was crazy.
Yeah, so,
we had the school all set. We did in the parking lots and the roads.
The roads
but
were
they
fine.
hadn't
Yeah,
done all the sidewalks. They hadn't gotten out.
yeah,
that's
and
why she-
driveways were just.
Yeah, it was-
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the right call.
I think my guys got out. They were in at 12:30 last night, so they
Yeah, I heard them.
product all night.
Um,
And they
Well, they were out earlier in Mulberry. Someone in this had to go out to Mulberry earlier in the
while
evening.
While he was on call.
Yeah.
Up early. And they're monitoring it tonight too.
Because today's 55 was fantastic.
Yeah.
Awful
Yeah,
forecast
but I think
today.
it was 33 when I pulled in.
Yeah, it's dropping fast.
Yeah.
It's already starting to glaze again, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming there'll be a lot more salt going down. But no troubles getting it like we've had in the past
No.
so far.
Yeah, they're delivering it right away.
Good.
So it should be in good shape.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mark. So, Mark, so the streetlights within a month or two, I mean, you think, or?
They're supposed to be delivered, they said the week of February 12th.
And then it's just a matter of scheduling.
So, so it's just a matter of getting it scheduled. And since we're doing it with these controllers, we'll be starting in the center of town and working our way out, because they have to be able to talk to each other
Oh, I see.
from the gateway. So, so once you put the first one in, it talks to the gateway, and then you put the next one in, it talks to that one, and then it talks to the gateway. So
It's pretty cool.
you kind of work your way out. So,
Nice. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Good stuff.
I got all your exciting stuff. All right, good night.
Good night, Mark. Thanks. Drive careful.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm moving again.
So, Mr. Chair and members of the board, I
Mark, nice to
asked
see you.
Mark Archibald,
Hey.
town planner, as the board is aware, and we appreciate you calling a special town meeting on March 19th for the sole purposes of the town considering the zoning bylaw update. And as we all know, it has been years and it has had negative impacts on the town. So with that, Mark is going here to give a brief presentation to the board. As I discussed with Mark, as this board has discussed, you're very interested in the sort of the executive summary version, so you can explain to constituents when they ask you, what is this all about, that you can give them the 60-second nutshell. So Mark's here to give a brief presentation, answer any questions. Also, his first public information forum is tomorrow here at 7 p.m. There's going to be another one in February and then March, so we're really trying to do the outreach. So with that, through the chair, I'll turn it over to Mark.
Thank you very much, Robert, and Selectmen, thank you very much. What I will do in the next 15 minutes is attempt to cover a 95-page zoning bylaw in a very condensed form. What I'll be presenting tonight is a shortened version of the presentation I'll be giving tomorrow evening, as well as in February and early March, as Robert indicated. And I wanted to start out with just an overview of the town. Yes, these are aerial photographs that we found online, and it was very good.
Yeah, you're right. That is a very nice
Excellent,
picture.
excellent photographs.
It is.
Extra.
So this probably comes as no surprise to you, but when I was starting this job, I was impressed by how much Ayer packs into such a small area. You know, I like to say that, you know, the town of Ayer has within its 9.5 square miles all of the land uses that you can find in New England in a very compact area. You know, you have a commuter rail, freight rail, a compact walkable downtown, substantial commercial and industrially zoned land, beautiful residential neighborhoods, diversity of housing options, diverse population, plentiful employment opportunities, abundant water resources, the rail trail, and two critical areas of environmental concern. So Ayer runs the gamut from industrial and employment opportunities to open space and water resources. However, some challenges remain. We have underutilized, outdated, and poorly designed commercial areas. Traffic congestion at several major intersections. No surprise there. Sprawling conventional subdivisions which are encroaching on Ayer's last remaining wild areas in the north central part of town, bordering on Groton. There's some surface and groundwater contamination resulting from past industrial operations. And lastly, we have an antiquated zoning bylaw and subdivision and site plan regulations in which to try to address all of this and keep Ayer and improve upon the quality of life in Ayer, which is why I'm here tonight.
And we appreciate it. When was the last time this was updated? It's been, I mean, I know this came before town meeting in
2009.
Yes.
And if
Was
the
it
board
updated?
recalls, then it became,
poorly.
Wasn't it in
No.
2011
and then 2011,
2011,
it got tabled,
and then that was it.
and I'm glad Selectman Livingston brought that up because,
Yep.
as the board is aware, if town meeting tables a zoning article, such as this bylaw update, you have to wait 2 years to bring it back. So,
Oh, that part I didn't realize.
yeah, so in 2011, it was tabled by town meeting. So, yeah, 2009, so we're coming up on almost a decade.
Oh, you stole my thunder from
I'm
the next
sorry,
slide.
yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I'll
I'm
be quiet.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
His first presentation.
He's
Tim.
doing
No,
great.
no, I'm
fantastic.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. A little bit of zoning 101. I'm sure this is, you know, not new to you, but for the general public, I wanted to include this. You know, what does zoning do? There are two primary concerns of zoning. One is uses, you know, what you can do on a given piece of land, and the intensity of that use, which is regulated by what's called the dimensional and density requirements. You know, what size lot do you need, what amount of frontage, and what are the setbacks, and that sort of issue. It regulates what type of uses can occur where, what zoning districts, and how they must be built and developed, as I just mentioned. Now, there is a common misconception on the part of some people in the public that, you know, if we're rezoning certain areas or doing something that, you know, the town will immediately go in there and change things. Well, you know, we want to make this clear that it, you know, zoning is driven by the private sector and citizens. You know, we provide a framework within which applicants, your average citizen, and developers come in and propose residential, commercial, and industrial development. And, you know, we sort of try to make sure that development is compatible with the town's character. So I will be covering this tomorrow night just in case there are any misconceptions. Now, the new zoning bylaw has been in the works for a while, as Robert said.
That's clever.
That's Park Street.
I had to put some humor in there because zoning is such a dry topic, you know. And,
It is running down.
it's a
Park.
slight exaggeration. We hope we get a better reception at the March 19th town meeting than this dinosaur is experiencing. So Ayer adopted its first zoning bylaw in 1973. Yeah, and there are several minor updates in the decades since then, with the most recent comprehensive update in October 2006, which was reorganized in 2009, as Robert mentioned. However, we have found that this bylaw has proven to be inadequate. It's poorly organized. There's a lack of internal consistency between sections. There are even some legal concerns that have come up when we've tried to apply this. And so for that reason, Beginning in 2010, there were several attempts to bring a new bylaw to town meeting, but these were tabled due to various reasons. So starting in 2015, a planning consultant was hired by the town to revisit the 2006-2009 bylaw and to improve it without making substantial changes. So what I'll cover now is what are the key features of the new bylaw, what is being proposed for the March 19th special town meeting compared to the existing bylaw that we have on the books. First, most importantly, what is not being changed? And this is deliberate. We are not changing any of the existing uses that are in the use table or the dimensional requirements such as lot size, frontage, setbacks. We're not changing those for uses that already exist. Now we are adding a few new uses to try to improve, like the downtown.
I'm glad you pointed that out first, because I know
Yes.
that, I'm sure that's what
Right.
people are.
Yes. That's not to say that in the future we might not want to tweak some of the zoning boundaries, because what we found in applying the bylaw is that the exact boundary between residential 1 and residential 2 is not clear in some cases, and we need to address that, but that's a big process in itself. So what the new bylaw features is a greatly improved organization and ease of use. Our consultant is very good at that, and she did a good job. We have an expanded and improved list of definitions. Definitions, I believe, is one of the most important parts of a bylaw, because if ever there's any question about the meaning or intent of a section of the bylaw, you go back to the definitions to clarify that. Also, the special permit granting authority for many uses that require a special permit will be changed from the Zoning Board of Appeals to the Planning Board for uses that also require site plan review, which will result in a more efficient permitting process for citizens and developers. We are trying to streamline the development process and increase coordination between the various boards, and this will help in that regard. So if somebody has a land use that requires a special permit, instead of going to the ZBA first and then to the planning board a few weeks later, they can do it all at one time. And we can have a joint special permit site plan hearing together. This will save time
And the ZBA will be what it's there for, a zoning board of appeals.
yes, yes.
Good.
Yes, there are still, some land uses that they will have the special permit granting authority for, and certainly variances will still be in their purview. The new district, the only change to the zoning map is something that was recommended in the 2004 master plan, which is a mixed-use transitional district for Central Avenue from the post office down to Groton Harvard Road, which will attempt to encourage revitalization of that corridor whenever new developments are proposed. So that will allow like incubator space that you see in like Lowell and that sort of thing, and some of these big buildings. And if there is a new big building constructed, we'll be able to do mixed use, in that district. There's also more detailed provisions for site plan review, including site layout, landscaping, better landscaping and lighting standards, and signage standards, which will hopefully result in more attractive commercial and industrial development.
I like that.
And we also have greatly improved provisions for what's called open space residential development, OSRD. Used to be called cluster, which probably not the best word. And this only applies to subdivisions that will be creating new roads. And when these go in, 50% of the entire tract that's in that ownership that's being subdivided will need to be set aside as open space. And this type of development will be allowed by right, which is an easier process than through a special permit. And this will really help us to preserve some of the wildlife habitat and open spaces in the north central part of town that's under development pressure. And here's the zoning map, which basically is what you have now. The only change is that, is there a little highlighter?
Use the mouse.
The mouse with the
Oh, the
arrow
mouse,
works
right.
best. Yeah.
Okay. Where is it? Oh, right there. Yes, this is the mixed-use transitional district on Central Ave, very short section. That is the only change in the map that is being proposed. All these other districts, residential A2 and A1, and the industrial districts and everything else is remaining the same. So no changes to those. So in a nutshell, how will this new zoning bylaw help improve the quality of life in Ayer? By its superior organization, the new bylaw provides a greatly improved foundation upon which to improve zoning in the future. And that's, I think, the most important feature of this bylaw is that it can be added onto the overlay district section is structured such that
Get near
Yeah, it isn't there? I always thought that building was in Shirley.
It's right on the
Yeah, all right.
triangle. It's in
No,
there.
it's cool. It's a very nice building. Yeah.
Also, it supports the revitalization of the downtown and the commercial zoning districts by providing improved standards for commercial and mixed uses, and taking advantage of the rail that we have. I think, this big opportunity in town that has not been fully appreciated perhaps in the past. Clarifies the provisions for housing in the downtown, for apartments above some of the commercial space. Again, taking advantage of the opportunities afforded by having commuter rail. And it encouraged development compatible with Ayer's community character by placing greater emphasis on site layout, design, and aesthetic considerations. The landscaping section alone is much better. And it will also help the town meet the state's affordable housing requirements by requiring that a certain number of affordable units in large multifamily projects provide a certain amount of affordable units. For every 4 or 5 market rate units, there will be 1 affordable unit. So this will help us get to that 10% and avoid the 40Bs, hopefully.
Please, yes.
So the last slide is just a pitch to try to get people out to the town meeting, which will be on Monday, March 19th at 7 p.m. at the high school. And it requires a 2/3 vote of the town meeting voters. And when I prepared this, it was assuming that my first forum was going to be last week when the storm happened. So, but there'll be 3 public forums where I talk about this bylaw in a little more depth than I did tonight. Tomorrow night, and also Tuesday, February 13th, and Wednesday, March 7th. We may alter the location of these. The first one is at the Great Hall. I might go to the library for one of them, get out in the town.
No, that's a good idea.
Move it around.
Yeah.
And also this effort dovetails very nicely with the effort to update the master plan. The two go, together very nicely, which was last updated in 2004. So the master plan and the zoning bylaw will help us to improve Ayer's quality of life for many years to come. And that is my presentation.
How does this blend with Alan's form-based code thing that he's apparently invented for Park Street and West Main and redevelopment? I mean, I know we're changing, but I suppose Park Street's already zoned commercial.
Yeah.
So
the southern part of it is general business. Actually, downtown business goes a certain degree up Park Street, and then it becomes general business.
Okay.
I believe what he wants to eventually do is the part that is controlled by the town, because part of it becomes a state road further up.
Yep.
He would like to do a form-based code in there. So this allows for that, but it is not instituting it.
Okay.
So,
So there's
two totally separate
Got it.
things. So what he is proposing will be an overlay district that can be added in the overlay district sections of this bylaw, but it's totally separate.
Okay.
So we're not changing that right now.
All right.
And that's his thing. I don't know as much about form-based codes, certainly as he does.
No, I mean, that's why working together. I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure we weren't missing something, but this is pretty extensive. Good job. And good job explaining it, because sometimes these things
That was beautiful.
can doze you off, but it
I
was...
actually feel positive now that this will happen, because it reared its ugly head again a couple of years ago and then died.
Yeah, and that was a frustrating. That was an old Ayer town meeting. It was close to 10 o'clock, and it was just like, and
Right,
poor,
but when
poor
it-
Jeremy
even when
Callahan was ready to present, and it just was, and it was very frustrating.
But then when it went to come back,
Yeah,
there was all the hullabaloo, and we were supposed to jump through hoops, and we're going to get this done, and then it just died.
yeah.
So it's nice to know, and I know that you've only been with us. Has it been 6 months?
Yeah, I was going to say about 6 months.
End of September. So,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't here that night.
Yes.
So this is the first time I've actually got to see you in action. So this is
Oh.
good.
We liked him, so we hired him.
Nice choice. Nice choice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I kind of lost track of what I was saying, but no, but I've been a little concerned, as far as, because what I was seeing a couple of years ago and everything, and I knew you were coming on board, and I knew you were going to help get this help with this moving and everything like that, as to how this was going to go. I feel very good about this.
No, thank you very much.
So I think that I think this is finally going to happen. I think all the pieces have fallen into place for everything and everybody, and we got a great planning board now and whatnot. And I think one of us with us right now.
Yep, and we have a lot of new staff members, and I think we're making a great team to work together. And
Well, and Ayer is growing. I mean, like I saw out in the construction industry, I mean, I constantly get questions of what's available. Because stuff moves on the market. I mean, there's constantly businesses, people looking to develop. And development's not bad when it's done correctly. And the fact that you, in conjunction, I like the open space. It's just in a development in Westford that they had this beautiful common area in the middle. They probably could have been 10 more houses, but it was all carved out, and it was great. They had trees, but they also had like a swing set for the kids and a gazebo, and it was like a neighborhood. Kids were playing, play football. I mean, it was pretty awesome actually for that neighborhood. So it helps the planning board too, because they're not trained planners, obviously. I mean, they're just, and like Jim said at town meeting, it's nice to have some guidance to go by.
Yeah, this is great.
good. Well, if you have any further questions, feel free to contact me. And
Mark, do you want to just quickly speak on the solar overlay district too?
Yes, I didn't bring a slide for that, but also simultaneously with this is a separate warrant article at the same town meeting on March 19th. I'll be proposing a solar energy systems overlay district. I think it's sorely needed in town. We've had some large-scale solar projects that have happened without any guidance or regulations, and I think we'll
that's
have
a great
much more
idea.
rational approach to where these can be located and how, and
Never too late, right, Ken?
what sort of screening will happen.
Ready to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. It makes a lot of sense because it certainly has been pushed upon us.
Yes,
So
and
good.
that's a good point. Just procedurally and structurally, it's part of this whole effort. But it's been decided there'll be two. It'll be a separate article, but part of this because it's a specific solar overlay. But we had nothing, and this board knows what the unfortunate implications of that have been. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's great. That's all great.
good job, Mark.
Yeah, nice presentation, Mark.
Very
I like.
nice.
Okay, well, thank
We
you
like
very much.
streamlined and to the point.
Yes.
Good. Well, thank you very much.
Nice to see you.
Yep.
Good job.
And
Good one.
we're gonna promote the hell
carefully.
out of this on
We are.
Facebook and social media
We are.
tomorrow.
Yes, and that little flyer.
The flyer, we've got to do a
Which should
new,
be-
and the plan design changes. And as I discussed with the board, I'm recommending that the board adopt Section 21, specifically adopt Mass General Law, Chapter 32B, Section 21 through 23. So what does that mean? If the board adopts this tonight to implement it, one, it allows the town to negotiate these health insurance impacts with all of the unions simultaneous through the IAC. I think that's in everybody's best interest. When I
Absolutely.
discussed that with the IAC, get everybody around the table on the same page to do the same thing. The second thing is Section 21, and Carly had made a copy of it for me in hot pink, and we've had it in hot orange, is a very specific timeline so this gets done. Yeah, I've lost it in the orange version. And so just so the board knows, these plan changes are scheduled to go into effect on June 1st. under section 21, besides putting everybody, including the town, around this table, it has a specific schedule that ensures that this is done by June 1st. So when changes go into effect, so this doesn't linger out there. The third piece is that whatever the savings to the town from the plan design changes, so whatever those savings are, which we do.
Would they be savings? If
Yeah.
we're increasing?
So the changes are made to keep the increase at 15%.
Oh, we're just making changes just
To keep it at
15.
that.
Jeez.
But when you make those plan design changes, there are cost savings to the town. Under the statute, specifically section 21, you have to give back at least 25% of those savings.
Sure.
So, Kevin, working with the Minuteman Manitoba Health Group, has done that financial analysis, and this is all public record. So just so the board is aware, the total savings to the town for these plan design changes is $26,284.68. I should say estimated. 25% of those savings is $6,571. And then we have 46 individuals that take individual health insurance plan and 54, right, that take family. And if we were to share that savings with everybody, all of the individuals, it would be approximately $65.71 that we would give to each employee under the statute. So, and that's the 25% savings. So we're giving, and I've discussed with Ms. Gabri. Now, I should say what I'm requesting tonight is two things from the board. One, that the board vote to adopt Section 21, which will allow us to do this.
Correct.
And secondly, to authorize myself with the finance manager, Kevin and Carly, to negotiate this on behalf of negotiate this with the IAC. And they understand that that negotiation will culminate in a memorandum of agreement subject to approval by the Board of Selectmen. So that is the plan. I will provide to the board. I mean, Kevin did the analysis beyond 25%, but under Section 21, we have to do at least 25%, given the fact that there's a 15% increase, and we're doing this to mitigate it. Additionally, we are also at the request of the IAC preparing an RFP to try to find another insurance alternative, but I think the board can appreciate we remain largely in a box. We're going to do that due diligence, but we can either self-insured is not an option. We can't afford it. We could join the GIC, which it has turned out to be a disaster of epic proportions. That's my opinion. Third, we're in a joint purchasing group now, Minuteman Manitoba Health Group. We could join potentially another group, but we'd have to look into that, which hence the RFP. Third is a single provider like Maya. Now, the last time we informally met with Maya and the IAC, the rates were not competitive over the long term, it's about the same. Or some other option. But as a realist, municipal health insurance is very specific. So we are going to do our due diligence, and I agree with the IAC on that. So, and we'll keep the board updated, but I think that, and I hear daily from the unions and from the employees, and I take the health insurance myself, as the board can appreciate what continues to happen year after year, not just in Ayer. Coverage decreases and costs increase.
Absolutely.
And
that's happening. I mean, that's happened to me in my private plan, and I was
Right.
plan. But hey,
so, and for the record, per Section 21, the appropriate notices of this meeting, which are required, were sent by Ms. Antonellis from me, certified to all of the parties that the board was contemplating adopting it tonight. So with that, just to conclude, and I appreciate the patience, and if I forget something, I'll ask Kevin to chime in. What we're asking tonight is the board to adopt Section 21, Mass General Law 32B, Section 21-23 is the adopt it, and authorize myself to negotiate the Section 21 the plan design changes with the unions, with the IAC, and come back with a memorandum of agreement for your approval.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. As we stated last week, I mean, this is not sustainable. I mean, we can't be doing this every year. I mean, it's not fair to the employees. Never mind. We say the town and the taxpayers, but I mean, at some point, we're going to have catastrophe insurance because no one can afford it.
It is concerning.
Well, I can't afford mine to.
My insurance is more each month than my mortgage. But it goes back to it. I mean, Senator Eldridge. I mean, he's certainly and I don't care, liberal, conservative, independent, whatever. It doesn't matter. It has to be a discussion moving forward. We can't sustain this increase. We'll all be bankrupt. Individuals, towns. It just can't continue. And I keep I want his opinion on it. It'd be interesting to hear, but
No, and as the board, not to belabor it, but the frustrating thing is that's the thing in the room, but we're boxed in this.
Oh, I
this
agree.
corner.
You guys have done a fantastic
And-
job, and Kevin and the committee and all that. It's just. I mean, anything going up 15%. Imagine your mortgage going up 15%, or your car payment, or
I know it.
it's just, and it's only going to happen again next year.
Yeah.
It's just. I'm sorry. It really frustrates me.
So we will
as
keep
a whole.
you CC'd as we always do on everything. Keep you updated, and we will be coming back with a memorandum.
And the unions
agreement.
do get it. I mean, obviously they.
I wanna
they're not-
thank-
I'm sure they're not happy about it, but I mean, you guys are affected as well. I mean, you're negotiating, but it affects you.
I want to thank the IAC and the unions for their honest candor, and we have very honest
Yes, we do.
discussions about this.
In a good way.
And I understand their frustrations.
Absolutely.
And we are going to try to do everything we can.
And
We are
please
going
convey our frustration as well.
Agreed,
in this.
and I just feel to address these plan design changes for this year, given the time horizon, and I appreciate the board's support tonight, that the Section 21 approach is the approach in everybody's interest. So we will move. Thank you for your votes
agree.
tonight on that.
And Kevin, is there any? I mean, there's probably nothing you can do, like in terms of preparing for next year, right? I mean, you're pretty much boxed into privately insured, or I mean, and my guess is it's all collusion to some degree. I mean, they're all in the same.
Did you just say collusion?
Yeah, I said collusion. Insurance.
Retirees,
What's that?
not the retirees.
No, I'm talking about the insurance companies.
I know.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, you're correct. There's not much we can do. As you already indicated, for fiscal 20, we will be doing an RFP to get competitive bids to see if we are at a good place in the market. We may find that we are. But the diligence needs to be done to make sure that we are. But as Robert said, well, we're boxed in, as is everybody else. Everybody else is in a separate box.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not just air. It's just, I mean, that's why it has to be taken up as a whole.
But
at some point.
that here, or even at Minuteman and Shelburne, we're going to resolve the problem.
No,
It's a higher
no,
level.
it's high, much higher than anything. I mean, we can make noise, but I mean,
We're gonna work
ultimately,
the best we can.
yeah. I mean, correct, and I appreciate that. I know it's frustrating for everybody, and I'm sure that the school will be going. I mean, that's the other thing. The school will be going through it. I'm sure that's part of the budget, and yeah.
So more to come.
Okay.
So thank you, board, for your
Yeah.
support. Last but not least, in your packet, there were 4 documents that were. No, that's fine, Chief. Okay. There are 4
Thanks, Chief.
documents
Good night.
in your packet, and I'm pleased to report that after 4 years of negotiations with the Department of Conservation and Recreation and the Division of Capital Asset Management, with your approval tonight and signatures, all of these documents will go to the
We
state,
have connections.
and the transfer, once it's recorded, and that's priority for Attorney Klein, and once the state signs, the rail trail lot will be transferred from the Department of Conservation and Recreation to the town of Ayer for the purposes of the commuter rail project. The 4 documents are, with your approval,
Along
and
with the fire
signature.
station, Janice.
The memorandum, there's a memorandum of understanding which was negotiated between the town and the state and reviewed by council attorney Klein, was involved with that. The second is the boundary line agreement.
Can we just speak to that one real quick?
Yeah.
Because they're transferring us the lot as is, and as we all know, there is the rail trail that they paved through 3 people's backyards. So instead of having them deal with it, because we know that would take 15 years.
Yeah, well, none of
we
us
said
will be
we'll
here,
take
yeah.
it And we'll deal with it. So we'll
Okay.
have a second part. Katie Klein's ready to hit the ground running. It's not gonna be a big deal, but it's just a paperwork snag. But we have a side agreement to address
Okay,
dealing with that.
good. I'd much rather have it in our hands
I
than,
totally
Agreed.
agree.
And in
Yeah.
fact, the Division of Capital Asset Management told me even though they did it when they took the land, it wasn't their problem. So we have to move this forward. The third is the release deed, and the fourth is a disclosure statement. And the board should also know that last week, and I appreciate the planning board support, I did go to the planning board that approved the A&R as well as
saw that.
the site plan review for the project. So we'd be looking for your vote and signature to authorize the memorandum of understanding, boundary line agreement, release deed, and disclosure statement.
So moved.
yeah, good, because I couldn't find it. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good work, Carly, Robert.
Yeah, specifically, I do want to say just real quickly.
And patience. I don't know how you
that,
do it.
that Miss Antonellis has the patience beyond Job.
Yeah,
If you're,
I agree.
She has.
Well, sometimes, but with
Over
this,
the last
definitely.
4 years, she did the weekly conference calls, and God bless her. So we're in good shape. We will move forward.
So they
on
are completely out, right? That's
correct. So these will go to the state.
We gotta sign it first.
Well, they maintain an easement over the whole
Yeah,
property
okay.
Yeah.
still, and they have this thing called a right of reverter. So basically, if we tear down our parking garage and make it into a strip mall or something, they can take the property back.
Much like
But
over
that's-
here, what we did with the Advocates Building,
It's
if we didn't
standard
use
in
it for,
all these
yeah.
deeds, like, you just have to say.
Much like an
what
eminent
you're gonna do.
domain, you don't do what you need, you have to, yeah, okay.
So they'll always
Yeah,
be
they'll
watching.
forget or
But
get
it's-
lost or
it's-
something anyways,
it's
but it won't matter.
classic with the state documents, that's in everything they do. They're
Mhm.
giving us their land. So-
And as the board is aware, the
Yeah.
major thing in the memorandum of understanding is they wanted the bathrooms, hence why
Mhm.
the project has the bathrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which actually is one thing I think is intelligent on their end. I think it's a good idea, but,
Here's all the.
all right, so we
So
can
we'll
sign
have
those
you-
at the end?
Yeah, if we could have you both sign those
Yep.
at the end.
Gladly.
The pilot agreement will be on the 6th. And lastly, the ASRSD regional agreement, which I gave you a copy of, and I found the lease for the Page Hilltop and the high school between the town and the regional school district. You had asked Selectman Hillman about the issue of making improvements or renovating and making improvements to the Page Hilltop School, if the town of Ayer could do that sort of unilaterally, if you will.
Number one.
And I can have council look at this, but my initial review of the lease agreement and the regional agreement is silent on it. The building belongs to the town of Ayer, but any renovations and so forth, per the lease, requires the town and the district. So that's why I think on the 13th we should have a discussion about this.
No,
with
no,
them.
that was the point.
Yeah.
It was whether
Yep.
I guess my question was,
Yeah.
if Air felt the need
Yeah.
and had the funds. I mean, there are major. We have a computer lab up there that has as you may not be aware, the 4th grade wing didn't have heat last week or the week before. I know that stuff doesn't always come out based on other things that are trying to be pushed through.
I understand everybody wants the field and everything, but I gotta tell you, to me, the message that we're sending the young kids is that until you start playing in sports and really kind of earn your pay to you know, earn some money for the school or some recognition and everything, we're just not worried about you. You'll be fine. Put on a sword.
Well, I mean, that's the question I get,
put on bigger socks.
I think the field is needed, and I
It
agree.
is,
But I agree
it
with you.
is, But I think that
There's a bigger issue it was answered to some degree. The meeting we went to, I know we were surprised that they were having a study done at the school, but I guess my question was, does Ayer have the ability to, let's say, put a new roof? Because we're 15 years away from a new elementary school. I think if we go through the process, and I think there's probably a regional aspect of that probably down the road that hasn't even been discussed yet. But do we have the means to make the necessary improvements up there to keep it safe, heat, roof, windows, doors? I mean, you know,
Yeah.
because I mean, Mr. Deputy's done a great job. I mean, the school is incredibly highly rated, based, you know, regardless of the building. But you can't keep kids in the district if, you know, kids are more, you know, parents are more apt to leave prior to the high school and all the great things that go on there, based on, you know, a lot of people are aesthetics, you know,
That's right.
our building's a dump.
Well, I don't think, you know, I mean, yeah, aesthetic, yeah, you want to drive by and look at it and see it nice, but, you know, the fact that there's a constant heat problem, we had the bubbler problem over the
You're right,
summer.
you're right.
I mean, it's
Not even the summer, the whole end of the school
Yeah.
last year.
you
There
know,
was,
I mean, it's just a constant, and it needs to be addressed, and I think it has to become a priority.
and like we've
You know,
we've
and
discussed.
I think you know, I've always felt this way. This is something that I even felt as a kid. You know, it's just, you know, the sports is important. Do not misunderstand what I'm saying. The sports is important. The field is important. However, so are the basic needs.
And
I
they can
think
go
that
hand in
that
hand. I
needs
mean,
to be addressed first.
yeah.
And I think what has a tendency to happen is that those who are playing in a sport, inevitably, they become the stars, and everyone else gets left behind, or feeling like they're left behind. Whether they're being left behind, it doesn't matter. They may be feeling like they're being left behind, and that then creates a bigger problem.
And I'm sure I'm going to hear about this tomorrow, and I don't care. And I'm not saying I'm opposed to the field by any means. I just
I'm not opposed to the
no,
field,
no, I know you're not.
you
I know,
know.
I agree with you. I know exactly what you're saying. I'm just trying to, you know. And Robert and I expressed that the night of the forum that we went to. I think the first question was, we need to have the plan, at least the short-term plan, for some improvements to, and it doesn't involve just the inmates coming in the summer and painting. It involves, you know, stopping the roof from leaking, you know, updating the 1960s interior.
So here-
and I know rugs were replaced and
I hate it when you
stuff.
say that.
But I mean, but it's true. I mean,
I know, it's just somehow every time you say that.
yeah, but I mean,
So, Mr. Chair, if I may, what
there
I
needs to be a capital plan. Next year, we're going to spend $200,000 on new windows, you know, to save energy. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I agree.
And I mean, I think this is a benefit for the school, regardless of the field. I just think this is. I mean, look what the high school's done for the town. I mean, Ms. Class, you were there before, and were you there at the old high school?
I've been there since 1994.
So you know, I mean, the difference is. I mean, when I first ran for selectman, I toured that old school, and I was shocked
Oh, we
that
did.
that was the building
I went
our
to
kids
that
were
old
going
school.
to.
I was shocked.
And it's funny, you know, yeah.
That was back then.
I mean, and they go in now, and it's, you know, it's great. I mean, it's a great building. It looks good. I mean, it's clean. It functions. I mean, it's just. And I think it looks great from the outside. I mean, you get compliments
now
all the time.
there's this little kid in the 4th grade who's got no heat, and they're looking out to that beautiful high school and saying, "Look at all they got.
Yeah.
Could somebody hand me a blanket?" You know.
So I think on the 13th, and just so the board knows, I did see Dr. Malone yesterday at the high school auditorium. Mr. Deppie and the elementary had
Cole
the
told me he
kindness
saw you.
day.
Saw you
Yes,
there speaking.
I saw Cole and others, and they had a great assembly.
Think of it as an act of kindness.
An act of kindness, and I told Dr. Malone that this was going to be discussed initially tonight. From my vantage point, I think all excellent points. I think on the 13th, after we talk about the assessment in the budget, which is separate from this, and which is the first order of business. And I know Mr. Hood will be here and FinCom as well.
Good, they are going to come?
They are going to
Good,
come.
good.
And they tend to concur with you. I think there needs to be a frank discussion, because what I'm hearing from my vantage point as town administrator, not just saying what I hear, is when people bring up these conditions, and you've heard this, both of you have heard this, members of the school committee and so forth say it's not that bad, these conditions.
The principal had to notify.
Right.
I mean, and Fred
Right.
did a great job of notifying all the parents.
So-
I mean, I don't have a child in 4th grade, but I mean, he sent out saying that they've made, and they dealt with it, and it wasn't like kids were freezing, but I mean,
Right.
it still was a disruption, and it happens. I
So
mean,
obviously
it happened
we-
at the high
You know,
school, I
if they
think,
were
or at least
freezing or
allegedly
not,
a few
it
weeks
just-
ago.
It's unsatisfactory. In
Right.
the 21st century, in this town of Ayer,
Mhm.
sitting right next door to this beautiful high school, that it became a problem,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's a constant problem. That's the key. It's like, well, we took care of it, and then everybody waits until next year. Well, we had, out of 4 or 5 months of cold, there was really just that 1 month we had a problem.
Or we
had a
I mean,
problem.
We had school closed for a week there with the
How many
snow.
of those kids,
few years ago.
were, some of those kids may have been freezing, even though the adults said that they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, lastly, for the 13th, obviously having that discussion I think is going to be important again. Secondly, as you know, Selectman Hillman, at that meeting, I'm just going to say it, the town of Shirley was talking about they needed more time and was not, this has...
Selectman Hillman spoke up on
It
that, by
has
the way,
to pass in both
about the
towns.
town of Shirley.
And my
To the
point-
town of Shirley.
I remember the first part of that evening. Unfortunately,
yeah. Well, I mean,
didn't get
I-
to
it just-
go up to the school for the
But the point is-
presentation, and that just was painful.
We want to be successful across the board, and the worst thing is to just put it on the ballot and for a debt exclusion if our sister town, partner town is not on board. It failing is not a success,
I agree. I
So, there are a lot of concerns in Ayer, as you both have articulated. I think that's...
I think there are concerns that can be addressed, though, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't think it's one or the other. I just think there needs to be a view of the whole thing. I guess, in
agree.
my
I
opinion.
think that, what are they talking, 6.2?
6.5,
Okay,
6.5.
so, what if instead of, 6.5 for field, it became 5 for field and 1.5 for the elementary school? I just
Or
use
just
that
a-
as an example.
Or a capital plan.
Right, but I just use that as an example.
No, I understand. I understand.
it. So-
Sometimes it's not, you're speaking to people that don't want to,
It's gotta be the needs of the many.
listen, I guess the article in the paper was, I read about 3 sentences of it. I wish Nicole had written it, because it would have been more. But it was a story based on one view, which was great. They did it. Their presentation was fantastic.
No question.
And a lot of it was solid information that I agree that stuff is needed there. And then basically, the selectmen will figure out how to pay for it, or how to. Ultimately, it comes back to us, because we sit here in December 1st and listen to everybody in the audience tell us why we shouldn't stop approving stuff at town meeting, and we're raising our taxes, and which I enjoy those meetings, but it's not the funnest
That
night
was
in
the
the world.
first time we had an audience in 2 years.
I know. Well, exactly. But before that, Janice, it was rowdy and.
It wasn't rowdy, you had 3 people.
No, years ago.
Oh,
Years ago. Yeah,
okay.
years ago. No, this was nothing. But no, we've had this room, and Robert, you can attest. We've had this room packed.
back several years ago,
several years
yes.
ago it was.
That was before my time.
Until
Yeah.
the book got brought out and facts
Yeah.
actually came out. But we have to tell everybody why, what they're paying for it, what we're
So
getting
we
for
will, on the 13th, we will discuss obviously the assessment, the field,
Mhm.
and the capital plan.
it. I think that's
Yeah.
great. I think it's a good discussion to have while they're here, as long as they're willing. I guess they don't have a choice. But,
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. It's your meeting,
Our meeting.
Okay. And that concludes my report, so thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Anything else going on? I think everything's going well.
Mhm.
All our positions are filled for the time being now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, we're in good shape.
To answer some people's questions over the weekend, Chief Murray does have a full staff now at the police department.
Correct.
Several of those individuals are in training.
Correct.
But I know he's excited. I think he sent the email right before Christmas or right after Christmas about starting the traffic division, which will
Correct.
be fantastic once everybody's vetted or whatever they go through their
Yep.
training and training in town after their academy training. So that's great. So everything looks good. Minutes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from Tuesday, January 9th, 2018 is a, submitted packet. Oh.
I thought you were going to say amended, but
I could not just, blanked right out of me. I hate that when that happens.
Second, whatever you just said. All in favor? Aye. Minutes approved.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.